Tools of the Rich, written and published by Rich Audiobooks. The rich don't rely on luck, they rely on tools, mental tools, strategic tools, energetic tools. Tools of the Rich reveals the exact instruments wealthy people use to build, protect, and multiply their success. While others hustle blindly, the rich leverage systems, routines, relationships, and mindset frameworks with precision. Do you know what tools are shaping your reality? Or are you still building your future with broken gear and outdated beliefs? This book hands you the toolkit not just for making money, but for mastering time, energy, influence, and decision-making. Because the difference between struggle and success isn't talent, it's the tools you choose to use. Lesson 1. Vision Board Clarity. The journey to extraordinary wealth begins with extraordinary vision. While most people drift through life reacting to circumstances, the wealthy operate differently. They first envision their empire with crystal clarity, then systematically build it into reality. This fundamental difference in approach explains why less than 1% of the population controls the majority of the world's wealth. Vision isn't just about dreaming big, it's about developing the ability to see what doesn't yet exist with such vivid detail that its manifestation becomes almost inevitable. When Steve Jobs envisioned a computer that could fit in your pocket, he didn't just have a vague idea. He could see, feel, and describe every detail of what would become the iPhone. This level of clarity drove every decision, every hire, and every design choice until the physical product matched the mental image. The wealthy understand that the human brain operates like a heat-seeking missile. Once given a clear target, it automatically begins calculating countless paths to reach that destination. This is why vision boards, when properly created and used, become powerful tools for wealth attraction. They serve as daily programming for your subconscious mind, directing your attention toward opportunities aligned with your wealth vision while filtering out distractions that would lead you astray. Creating an effective vision board requires more than just pasting luxury car pictures onto cardboard. The wealthy approach visualization as a serious strategic exercise. They include specific numbers, dates, and milestones. They add sensory details, how their future office will smell, the texture of their dream home's doorknob, the sound of their ideal investment property's front door closing. This level of detail engages multiple brain regions, strengthening neural pathways that support wealth-building behaviors. Consider Sarah Blakely, who wrote in her journal that she would one day be worth $1 billion, 0 cents, through an invention that would help millions of women. She didn't just write it once, she reviewed and refined this vision daily, adding more detail about her product, her company culture, and her impact on the world. Years later, when Spanx made her the youngest self-made female billionaire, she attributed much of her success to the clarity of her initial vision. Your brain cannot hit a target it cannot see. Vague goals like "I want to be rich" or "I want financial freedom" lack the specificity needed to activate your brain's goal-seeking mechanisms. The wealthy define exact numbers, timelines, and scenarios. They visualize their future net worth, broken down by asset classes. They imagine specific conversations with future business partners, investors, and team members. They mentally rehearse giving speeches, closing deals, and making strategic decisions in their future role. Vision board clarity also serves as a powerful filter for decision-making. When faced with opportunities or challenges, the wealthy simply compare the situation to their vision. Does this move them closer to or further from their clearly defined target? This clarity eliminates the paralysis of analysis that keeps many stuck in perpetual planning mode. With a crystal-clear vision, decisions become binary: align or don't align, advance or retreat. The most powerful vision boards evolve with you. As you achieve initial goals, you expand and elevate your vision. What seemed ambitious last year becomes your new baseline. The wealthy understand that vision, like wealth itself, must compound over time. They regularly update their vision boards, adding new details, raising targets, and incorporating lessons learned along the way. This creates an upward spiral of achievement where each success fuels an even bigger vision for the future. Lesson 2. Morning Wealth Rituals. The most profound transformation in your wealth journey begins in the quiet hours before dawn. While the world sleeps, the wealthy are already architecting their empire through carefully crafted morning rituals that prime both mind and spirit for abundance. These aren't just random habits. They're deliberately engineered practices that create an unshakable foundation for wealth creation. The wealthy understand that winning the morning means winning the day. By By rising early, typically between 4:30 and 5:30 a.m., they tap into a sacred period of enhanced mental clarity and minimal distractions. This wealth hour becomes a catalyst for exponential growth, allowing them to operate at peak performance while others hit the snooze button. At the core of these morning wealth rituals is meditation, not just any meditation, but specific practices focused on abundance consciousness. The wealthy spend 15 to 20 minutes in deep contemplation, visualizing their desired outcomes with crystal clarity. They feel the emotions of already having achieved their goals, programming their subconscious mind to recognize and seize opportunities throughout the day. Physical movement follows meditation, but not just standard exercise. The wealthy engage in intentional movement that energizes their body while maintaining their wealth-focused mindset. This might be yoga flows designed to open energy channels, power walking while listening to financial podcasts, or high-intensity training that builds mental resilience alongside physical strength. Journal work forms another crucial component of morning wealth rituals. The wealthy don't just write, they engage in structured reflection exercises that reinforce their money mindset. They document their goals, express gratitude for current abundance, and strategize their next wealth-building moves. This written practice creates a tangible bridge between their inner vision and outer reality. The consumption of information during these early hours is equally strategic. While others scroll mindlessly through social media, the wealthy curate their morning input carefully. They read market reports, study industry trends, or absorb biography chapters of other successful people. Every piece of morning content serves their wealth-building agenda. Perhaps most importantly, these morning rituals include what the wealthy don't do. They don't check emails immediately, respond to non-emergency messages, or allow other people's agendas to infiltrate their sacred morning space. This boundary setting is crucial for maintaining the energy and focus needed for wealth creation. The power of morning wealth rituals lies in their compound effect. Each day, these practices lay another brick in the foundation of wealth consciousness. Over time, this consciousness becomes so deeply embedded that attracting and maintaining wealth becomes natural, almost effortless. The wealthy don't see these rituals as a burden or chore. They recognize them as the launching pad for their daily success. Your morning rituals literally program your nervous system for wealth or poverty. When you begin your day reactively, jumping straight into problems and other people's needs, you program yourself for scarcity. But when you claim those early hours for strategic wealth-building activities, you create an entirely different trajectory for your life. The wealthy know this intimately. It's why they guard their morning rituals as fiercely as they guard their investment portfolios. These rituals extend beyond the individual to impact entire family systems and business organizations. Wealthy parents often involve their children in age-appropriate morning practices, passing down the habits of success through generations. Business leaders use their morning ritual events clarity to make decisions that affect thousands of employees and millions in revenue. Lesson 3. Financial literacy. Money flows naturally to those who understand its language. While most people stumble through their financial lives with basic knowledge of income and expenses, the wealthy operate on a different level of financial sophistication. They grasp not just the fundamentals, but the intricate dance of money movement, tax efficiency, and wealth preservation. The foundation of financial literacy begins with understanding the three core financial statements: the income statement, balance sheet, and cash flow statement. The income statement reveals the story of money coming in and going out, but wealthy people look deeper. They analyze not just the numbers, but the patterns, seeking ways to increase revenue streams while optimizing expenses. The balance sheet becomes their scoreboard, tracking assets against liabilities and measuring true net worth beyond just bank account balances. Cash flow statements serve as their strategic map, showing not just current money movement, but predicting future financial opportunities. Tax strategy represents another crucial dimension of financial literacy that separates the wealthy from the average. While most people simply pay their taxes and complain about the rates, wealthy people structure their affairs to maximize legitimate tax advantages. They understand the power of business entities, the strategic use of deductions, and the importance of timing in financial decisions. This isn't about evading taxes, but about being intelligent and intentional with every financial move. The wealthy also master key financial ratios that guide their decision-making. They know their debt-to-income ratio, return on investment percentages, and asset allocation metrics. These numbers aren't just abstract concepts, but living guidelines that inform every financial choice. When evaluating new opportunities, they can quickly assess potential returns against risks using these established metrics. Financial education becomes a lifelong pursuit for the wealthy. They read extensively about money management, attend advanced financial seminars, and often hire expert mentors to fill knowledge gaps. They recognize that financial markets, tax laws, and economic conditions constantly evolve, requiring continuous learning and adaptation. This commitment to financial education extends beyond personal finance into business finance, investment strategies, and wealth preservation techniques. The wealthy develop a sixth sense about money opportunities and threats. They understand market cycles, recognize patterns in economic trends, and position themselves accordingly. This deep financial literacy allows them to stay calm during market turbulence while others panic, seeing opportunities where others see only danger. They know when to hold cash, when to invest aggressively, and when to protect their assets. Perhaps most importantly, the wealthy teach financial literacy to their children, creating generational wealth knowledge. They understand that financial education rarely comes from traditional schooling, so they take personal responsibility for ensuring their family members develop strong money management skills. This creates a compound effect where financial wisdom accumulates and grows across generations. Taking control of your financial education means starting with honest self-assessment. Evaluate your understanding of basic financial concepts, identify knowledge gaps, and create a learning plan. Subscribe to financial publications, take courses, and seek mentorship from those who have achieved the level of financial success you desire. Financial literacy isn't about memorizing terms or formulas, but about developing an intuitive understanding of how money works and moves. The path to wealth becomes clearer with each layer of financial knowledge you acquire. Start with the basics, then progressively tackle more complex concepts. Your growing financial literacy will illuminate opportunities you previously couldn't see and help you avoid pitfalls that trap the financially uninformed. This knowledge, combined with disciplined application, becomes one of your most powerful tools for building and maintaining wealth. Lesson 4. High-income skills. The wealthiest people in the world understand a fundamental truth. Specialized knowledge, when properly leveraged, creates exponential returns. While the average person focuses on traditional education and general skills, the rich deliberately cultivate high-income abilities that set them apart in the marketplace. These high-performance skills share common characteristics. They solve expensive problems, create significant value for others, and most importantly, they're difficult to replicate or automate. Consider the skill of closing million-dollar deals. It requires a unique combination of psychology, negotiation expertise, and relationship building that artificial intelligence cannot easily replace. Or think about the ability to spot emerging market trends before they become obvious to the masses, a skill that has created countless fortunes throughout history. The development of high-income skills follows a distinct pattern among the wealthy. Instead of pursuing random interests, they identify skills at the intersection of their passions, market demands, and potential for scale. They then immerse themselves in mastering these skills through deliberate practice, real-world application, and continuous refinement. A software developer who becomes an expert in blockchain technology isn't just learning to code. They're positioning themselves at the forefront of a transformative technology that commands premium rates. Rich people also understand that high-income skills must evolve with the market. They stay ahead by maintaining a pulse on industry trends and adapting their skill set accordingly. This might mean a marketing expert learning data analytics to enhance their decision-making, or a real estate investor studying sustainable building practices to capitalize on emerging environmental concerns. The wealthy approach skill development as an investment, not an expense. They allocate significant resources to courses, mentors, and experiences that accelerate their learning. While others might balk at spending $50,000, 0 cents, on a high-level mastermind program, the rich recognize that acquiring a skill that generates millions is worth every penny invested in its development. Perhaps most crucially, the wealthy understand how to stack high investable skills to create unique value propositions. A person who combines expertise in sales, public speaking, and business strategy becomes an invaluable consultant who can command fees that would be impossible with any single skill alone. This combination approach creates a moat around their expertise, making their service offering both rare and highly valuable. The implementation of high-input skills requires strategic positioning. The rich don't just acquire abilities, They build systems to showcase and monetize them effectively. They create content, speak at events, write books, or build businesses that demonstrate their expertise. This visibility attracts opportunities and allows them to charge premium rates for their knowledge. High-income skills also provide the wealthy with multiple revenue streams. A single well-developed skill can generate income through consulting, product creation, licensing, teaching, and numerous other channels. This multiplication effect is what separates high-income skills from traditional employment skills that typically only provide a single income stream. The rich also recognize that high-income skills create compound returns over time. As their expertise grows, so does their network, reputation, and ability to command higher fees. What starts as a specialized skill can evolve into a personal brand, a business empire, or an investment opportunity that generates passive income. For those seeking to build wealth, the path is clear. Identify high-income skills aligned with market demands, invest heavily in their development, and create systems to leverage them effectively. The rich understand that in a knowledge economy, the right skills are the ultimate asset, one that appreciates over time and can't be taken away. Lesson 5. Powerful networks. Your net worth is directly influenced by your network. This isn't just a catchy phrase, it's a fundamental truth that wealthy people understand and leverage to their advantage. The rich recognize that isolation is the enemy of wealth creation, while strategic relationships are the catalyst for exponential growth. Consider how wealth actually flows in society. Major business deals, investment opportunities, and career advancements rarely happen through cold outreach or random chance. They materialize through warm introductions, trusted relationships, and being in the right rooms with the right people. The wealthy don't leave these connections to chance. They methodically cultivate relationships with people who can elevate their thinking, expand their opportunities, and accelerate their journey to wealth. The distinction between strategic networking and casual socializing is crucial. While many people attend generic networking events collecting business cards, the wealthy focus on building meaningful relationships in specific contexts where high-value opportunities naturally emerge. They seek out industry leaders, successful entrepreneurs, and influential figures who already operate at the level they aspire to reach. These relationships aren't pursued with immediate transactions in mind, but rather with a long-term view of mutual growth and value creation. For those starting from zero, accessing these high-value circles might seem daunting. But the wealthy understand that value creation is the ultimate door opener. They find ways to contribute meaningfully to conversations, solve problems for others, and make themselves indispensable to the networks they wish to join. This might mean developing specialized expertise, offering unique insights, or simply being consistently reliable and professional in all interactions. The concept of masterminds, popularized by Napoleon Hill, remains a powerful tool in modern wealth building. The wealthy regularly participate in or create mastermind groups, structured gatherings of success-minded people who share insights, solve problems collectively, and hold each other accountable. These groups become incubators for new ideas, partnerships, and opportunities that wouldn't be possible in isolation. Digital platforms have democratized access to valuable networks, but the wealthy use these tools strategically rather than scattered. They understand that social media presence should reflect their professional brand and values, and they use digital platforms to nurture real relationships rather than simply accumulate followers. LinkedIn becomes a tool for meaningful industry connections, not just a digital resume. Twitter transforms into a platform for thought leadership and valuable conversations, not just casual updates. The wealthy regularly audit their networks, understanding that relationships either elevate or stagnate their growth. They are not afraid to distance themselves from people who consistently display limiting mindsets or negative attitudes toward wealth creation. This isn't about elitism. It's about creating an environment that supports their wealth-building goals and maintaining relationships that challenge them to grow. Relationship capital becomes as important as financial capital in the wealth-building journey. The wealthy invest time in maintaining and strengthening their networks through regular communication, thoughtful gestures, and genuine interest in others' success. They understand that true networking isn't about taking value, it's about creating value for others first and allowing the natural law of reciprocity to work in their favor. A powerful network acts as a multiplier for every other wealth-building tool. It amplifies opportunities, provides shortcuts through shared knowledge, offers protection during downturns, and creates possibilities that money alone cannot buy. The wealthy know that while individual effort is important, collaborative success through strong networks creates lasting wealth and opens doors that would otherwise remain firmly closed. Lesson 6. Wealth Calendars. Time is the great equalizer. Every person, regardless of wealth or status, receives the same 24 hours each day. What separates the ultra-wealthy from others is how methodically they guard and invest these precious hours. The wealthy understand that time management isn't just about productivity, it's about treating time as their most valuable currency. The foundation of a wealth calendar begins with absolute clarity about the value of your time. When you earn $50, 0 cents per hour, every minute is worth 83 cents. At $500, 0 cents per hour, each minute represents $8.33 of potential value. This shift in perspective transforms how you view everyday activities and decisions. Wealthy people constantly ask themselves, is this activity worth the time investment based on my hourly value? Strategic calendar blocking forms the core of wealth-focused time management. Instead of reacting to demands as they arise, the wealthy proactively partition their days into focused blocks dedicated to specific wealth-building activities. They typically allocate their peak calendaring hours to their highest leverage work. For many, this means scheduling deep work sessions during morning hours when mental clarity is at its peak. The concept of time blocking extends beyond daily planning into weekly, monthly, and yearly strategic scheduling. Wealthy people often plan their major moves quarters or years in advance, ensuring their time aligns with their biggest wealth-building opportunities. They maintain both a tactical daily calendar and a strategic long-term calendar that maps out crucial wealth milestones and objectives. Uninterrupted focus time represents another crucial element of wealth calendars. The ultra-wealthy fiercely protect their deep work periods, understanding that context switching and interruptions severely impact their ability to create value. They often schedule unavailable blocks where they're completely unreachable, allowing them to solve complex problems and advance their most important projects. Digital tools have revolutionized how the wealthy manage their time. Many use sophisticated calendar systems that integrate with project management software, allowing them to track not just appointments, but also the progress of wealth-building initiatives. Some prefer analog systems for their primary planning, arguing that physically writing plans creates stronger commitment and clarity. The wealthy also build significant buffer time into their schedules, not for relaxation, but for capitalizing on unexpected opportunities. This flexible time allows them to say yes to high-value meetings, deals, or creative insights that weren't previously scheduled. They understand that some of the biggest wealth-building opportunities arrive unexpectedly, and rigid schedules can become wealth-limiting straitjackets. Regular calendar audits form another critical practice. The wealthy regularly review how they spent their time and assess whether their calendar truly reflects their wealth-building priorities. They analyze patterns, identify time-wasting activities, and continuously refine their scheduling systems. This iterative improvement process ensures their time management evolves with their growing wealth and changing opportunities. Perhaps most importantly, wealthy people view their calendars as concrete manifestations of their wealth vision. Every hour scheduled should move them closer to their financial goals. They understand that calendar management isn't about cramming in more activities. It's about ensuring that each block of time serves their wealth-building strategy. Their calendars become living documents that translate grand wealth visions into daily actions and habits. Lesson 7. Decision-making discipline. The divide between the wealthy and the average person often comes down to a single moment, the decision point. While most people hesitate, analyze, and ultimately let opportunities slip away, the wealthy have mastered the art of decisive action. They understand that the cost of indecision frequently exceeds the cost of making the wrong decision. The wealthy approach decision-making as a muscle that must be strengthened through consistent exercise. They start with small decisions, making them quickly and standing firmly behind their choices. This practice builds confidence and creates a foundation for larger, more consequential decisions. When faced with major opportunities, they've already developed the mental fortitude to act swiftly and decisively. Rich people utilize specific frameworks to accelerate their decision-making process. One common approach is the 70% rule. If they have 70% of the information needed and feel 70% confident about a decision, they move forward. They recognize that waiting for perfect information or complete certainty is a luxury they cannot afford in a fast-moving world. This framework prevents analysis paralysis while maintaining a reasonable standard for due diligence. Fear-based hesitation is the enemy of wealth creation. The wealthy have learned to distinguish between legitimate caution and fear-based procrastination. They understand that fear often disguises itself as prudence, leading to missed opportunities under the guise of being careful. To combat this, they focus on the cost of inaction rather than just the risk of action. They ask themselves, what will it cost me if I don't make this decision now? Alignment with core wealth values serves as a crucial compass in decision-making. The rich develop clear principles that guide their choices, making decisions faster and more consistent. These values might include wealth multiplication, time leverage, or market leadership. When faced with a decision, they quickly assess whether it aligns with these core values rather than getting lost in endless analysis of every possible outcome. Risk assessment takes on a different character among the wealthy. Instead of viewing risk as something to be avoided, they see it as a variable to be managed. They develop sophisticated frameworks for evaluating risk, often breaking down complex decisions into smaller components they can analyze separately. This approach allows them to take bold action while maintaining a clear understanding of their exposure and potential downsides. The wealthy also maintain decision journals not to second-guess themselves, but to refine their decision-making processes. They document the context, reasoning, and expected outcomes of significant decisions. This practice creates a feedback loop that helps them identify patterns in their decision-making and continually improve their judgment. Over time, this systematic approach to learning from decisions compounds into superior judgment and faster decision-making capabilities. Personal accountability stands as a cornerstone of wealthy decision-making. Rather than seeking consensus or spreading responsibility, they take full ownership of their decisions. This ownership mentality forces them to think more deeply about their choices, while also enabling them to act more quickly, as they're not waiting for others' approval or trying to distribute responsibility. The wealthy understand that decision-making energy is finite. They preserve their decision-making capacity for important matters by automating or delegating routine decisions. This practice ensures they have the mental energy required when facing crucial choices that could significantly impact their wealth. They create systems and frameworks that handle daily decisions, allowing them to focus their decision-making power on high-leverage opportunities that can dramatically accelerate their wealth creation. Lesson 8. This is an avenant. The fundamental difference between the wealthy and everyone else isn't just how much they earn, it's what they do with their money once they have it. The rich understand that money sitting idle is money losing value, and they develop an almost instinctive habit of putting their capital to work at every opportunity. This investment habit begins with a crucial mindset shift, viewing money not as something to be spent or saved, but as seeds that can be planted for future growth. Wealthy people don't see $1,000 as a shopping opportunity or even an emergency fund addition. They see it as potential investment capital that could multiply into $10,000 or more with the right placement and patience. The wealthy also understand that investment opportunities exist everywhere, not just in traditional vehicles like stocks and bonds. They train themselves to evaluate every situation through the lens of potential return on investment. Whether it's investing in a new business venture, purchasing real estate, funding someone else's innovation, or acquiring assets that appreciate over time, they maintain constant awareness of opportunities to multiply their wealth. What makes this approach particularly powerful is its compound effect over time. The rich don't just invest once or twice, they make it as routine as brushing their teeth. Every month, sometimes every week, they're allocating resources to various investments. They understand that consistency in investment behavior, even with smaller amounts, ultimately yields greater returns than sporadic large investments. This habit extends beyond financial investments to include investments in knowledge, relationships, and personal development. Wealthy people regularly attend investment seminars, subscribe to financial publications, and maintain relationships with financial advisors and successful investors. They recognize that staying informed about market trends and investment strategies is itself an investment that pays dividends through better decision-making. The wealthy also practice diversification as part of their investment habit. They don't put all their eggs in one basket, instead spreading their investments across different asset classes, industries, and risk levels. This isn't just about protection. It's about creating multiple streams of passive income that work in concert to build and preserve wealth. Another crucial aspect of the investment habit is the discipline to reinvest gains rather than spend them. When an investment pays off, the wealthy immediately look for the next opportunity to put that money to work. They understand that spending investment returns on lifestyle upgrades is a fast track to losing wealth, while reinvesting them accelerates the compound growth effect. The habit also includes regular portfolio review and rebalancing. The wealthy don't just make investments and forget about them. They actively monitor performance, make adjustments when necessary, and learn from both successes and failures. This ongoing engagement with their investments helps them develop better instincts and make increasingly sophisticated investment decisions over time. Perhaps most importantly, the wealthy approach investment with patience and emotional control. They don't panic sell during market downturns or chase hot trends without due diligence. Their investment habit is built on strategic thinking and long-term perspective, not reactive emotions or get-rich-quick schemes. Developing this investment habit requires conscious effort and often means going against natural impulses to spend or hoard money. But for those who master it, the investment habit becomes one of the most powerful tools for building and maintaining wealth. It transforms money from a finite resource that gets consumed into a self-perpetuating engine of growth that works tirelessly to create more wealth. Lesson 9. Leverage and Delegation, the Art of Multiplication. The fundamental difference between the wealthy and those struggling to build wealth lies in their understanding and application of leverage. The rich grasp a truth that eludes many. True wealth isn't built by doing everything yourself, but by masterfully orchestrating resources, people, and systems to multiply your impact. Consider how a single person working alone is limited by the hours in a day and their individual capacity. Even the most talented and hard-working individual hits a ceiling when trying to do everything themselves. The wealthy break through this ceiling by embracing delegation as a fundamental tool of wealth creation. They understand that their time and energy are best spent on high-leverage activities that only they can perform, while delegating everything else to capable team members or automated systems. The first step in mastering leverage is identifying your highest value activities. These are typically tasks that directly drive revenue, strategic growth, or critical relationship building. For many wealthy people, this might mean focusing on closing major deals, developing key partnerships, or making strategic decisions that shape their organization's future. Everything else, administrative tasks, routine operations, and even many day-to-day management functions, becomes a candidate for delegation. The wealthy approach delegation with a systematic mindset. They create detailed systems and processes that allow others to execute tasks exactly as they would. This investment in documentation and training might seem time-consuming initially, but it creates exponential returns as these systems scale. A well-documented process can be replicated countless times by different team members, maintaining consistency while freeing the wealth builder to focus on growth. Technology serves as another powerful leverage point. The rich actively seek out and invest in tools that automate repetitive tasks, streamline communications, and provide valuable data insights. They understand that a well-chosen software solution can do the work of multiple employees while operating 24/7 without breaks or benefits. This technological leverage allows them to scale their operations without proportionally scaling their costs. Financial leverage is another tool the wealthy use strategically. They understand how to use other people's money, through investments, loans, or partnerships, to amplify their returns. While the average person fears debt, the wealthy recognize that strategic debt, properly managed, can accelerate wealth building when used to acquire assets that appreciate or generate income. The concept of leverage extends beyond just tasks and money. The wealthy leverage knowledge by learning from others' experiences through books, mentors, and courses, saving years of trial and error. They leverage relationships by building networks that can open doors and create opportunities. They leverage their reputation and personal brand to attract opportunities rather than constantly chasing them. The most sophisticated application of leverage comes in creating self-sustaining systems. The wealthy build businesses and investments that generate income without their direct involvement. They create intellectual property that can be licensed repeatedly. They develop real estate portfolios that appreciate while generating rental income. Each of these represents a form of leverage that multiplies their initial investment of time and resources. An often overlooked aspect of leverage is the importance of quality control. The wealthy don't delegate blindly. They implement robust systems for monitoring and maintaining standards. They understand that their name and reputation are on the line, even when others are doing the work. Regular audits, clear performance metrics, and feedback loops ensure their leveraged activities maintain the quality that built their success. The path to mastering leverage begins with a mindset shift. Instead of asking, "How can I do this?" the wealthy ask, "How can this get done?" This subtle change opens up possibilities for delegation, automation, and systematic scaling that the self-reliant mindset misses. By embracing leverage in all its forms, the wealthy create exponential rather than linear growth in their wealth-building journey. Lesson 10. Personal branding, your most valuable asset. Your personal brand isn't just what you post on social media or how you dress. It's the total market value of your reputation, the sum of all impressions you create and the doors that open because of who you are. The wealthy understand that a strong personal brand is often worth more than physical assets or cash in the bank. Consider how the rich leverage their personal brands. When Elon Musk tweets, markets move. When Warren Buffett speaks, investors listen. When Oprah recommends a book, it becomes an instant bestseller. These aren't accidents. They're the result of carefully cultivated personal brands that create enormous leverage and opportunity. The foundation of a powerful personal brand starts with authenticity and consistency. The wealthy don't try to be all things to all people. Instead, they identify their unique strengths, perspectives, and values, then amplify these distinctive qualities across every interaction and platform. This authenticity builds trust, and trust is the currency that converts to real wealth. Your personal brand should solve a specific problem or fulfill a particular need for your target audience. The rich understand that generic brands get lost in the noise. They position themselves as the go-to authority in their chosen niche, whether that's technology innovation, real estate development, financial advice, or creative entrepreneurship. This specialized positioning allows them to command premium prices and attract high-value opportunities. Digital presence plays a crucial role in modern personal branding, but the wealthy approach it strategically. They don't chase followers or engage in endless social media activities. Instead, they focus on creating meaningful content that demonstrates their expertise and values. They understand that one well-placed article in a prestigious publication or a powerful speaking engagement can be worth more than thousands of random posts. The rich also know that personal branding extends far beyond online presence. They carefully manage their associations, speaking engagements, board positions, and philanthropic activities to reinforce their brand message. Every public appearance, every interview, and every business deal is viewed through the lens of brand impact and alignment. Story becomes a powerful tool in personal brand building. The wealthy craft and own their narrative, whether it's the immigrant success story, the innovative disruptor, or the trusted advisor. They understand that people connect with stories more than facts and figures, and they use their personal journey to create emotional connections with their audience. Investment in personal brand maintenance is non-negotiable for the wealthy. They hire top professionals, from speech coaches to personal stylists, from PR firms to brand strategists, to ensure their brand remains polished and relevant. They view these expenses not as costs, but as investments in their most valuable asset. Crisis management is another critical aspect of personal branding that the wealthy take seriously. They know that reputation can take years to build, but can be damaged in minutes. They maintain strong relationships with media, have crisis communication plans in place, and act swiftly to address any threats to their brand integrity. The wealthy also understand that their personal brand must evolve with time while maintaining its core essence. They stay attuned to market changes, emerging trends, and shifting cultural dynamics, adapting their brand positioning accordingly without compromising their fundamental values and message. This dynamic approach ensures their relevance and influence continue to grow over time, opening new opportunities for wealth creation and impact. Your personal brand is your promise to the market. It's what people expect from you and what they believe about you. The rich invest in their personal brands with the same diligence they apply to their financial portfolios, knowing that a strong personal brand creates opportunities that money alone cannot buy. Lesson 11. Growth Mindset, the Rich Person's Secret Weapon. The fundamental difference between those who achieve lasting wealth and those who remain stuck often comes down to one critical factor: their mindset toward growth and challenge. The wealthy don't just accept growth, they actively pursue it, understanding that expansion of knowledge, capabilities, and perspective directly correlates to the expansion of their fortune. Rich people view obstacles differently than the average person. Where others see insurmountable walls, the wealthy see fascinating puzzles to be solved. This isn't mere positive thinking, it's a disciplined approach to converting every challenge into an opportunity for advancement. When markets crash, they study the patterns to position themselves for the recovery. When competitors emerge, they analyze what new consumer needs are being revealed. When technologies disrupt their industry, they dive deep into understanding how to harness these changes for advantage. This growth-oriented perspective extends far beyond business and investing. The wealthy apply it to personal development, relationships, health, and every other life domain. They understand that stagnation in any area eventually affects their ability to create and maintain wealth. This is why you'll often find successful entrepreneurs reading voraciously across disciplines, taking on physical challenges, learning new languages, or mastering seemingly unrelated skills. They recognize that mental flexibility and adaptability are muscles that must be consistently exercised. The wealthy also understand that discomfort is the price of growth. While others avoid difficult conversations, challenging projects, or unfamiliar territories, the rich lean into these experiences. They've learned that the temporary unease of stretching beyond their comfort zone is trivial compared to the permanent limitations of playing it safe. This willingness to embrace discomfort becomes a competitive advantage. While others retreat from challenges, the wealthy advance and capture opportunities others miss. Critical to the growth mindset is the wealthy's relationship with failure. They don't just accept failure as a possibility, they actively seek situations where failure is likely, because they understand these are the environments where the greatest learning occurs. Each setback is meticulously analyzed not for self-punishment, but for extracting valuable lessons that inform future success. This transforms failure from a feared enemy into a trusted teacher. The wealthy also apply the growth mindset to their teams and organizations. They hire people who demonstrate curiosity and adaptability over those with perfect credentials. They create environments where experimentation is encouraged and measured risk-taking is rewarded. They invest heavily in the development of their people, knowing that a growing team creates exponential returns through innovation and improved capability. Perhaps most importantly, the wealthy understand that mindset isn't fixed. It's a choice made daily through consistent practices and deliberate challenges. They regularly audit their thoughts and beliefs, questioning assumptions that might limit their potential. They seek out perspectives that challenge their current thinking, knowing that intellectual comfort often signals the beginning of decline. They surround themselves with others committed to growth, creating powerful feedback loops that accelerate everyone's development. This commitment to growth becomes particularly vital during times of rapid change or uncertainty. While others become paralyzed by transformation, the wealthy see it as natural and necessary. They've trained themselves to remain curious and engaged when others become fearful and withdrawn. This allows them to spot opportunities in chaos and adapt their strategies while others cling to outdated approaches. The growth mindset of the wealthy isn't just about accumulating more, it's about becoming more. They understand that their external world will never exceed their internal development. By maintaining an unwavering commitment to expansion in all areas, they ensure that their capacity to create and maintain wealth continues to evolve. This perpetual growth becomes both the cause and effect of their success, creating an upward spiral that continues throughout their lives. Lesson 12. Faith and Resilience. The wealthiest people on earth share a common trait that extends far beyond their bank accounts: an unshakable faith in their journey and remarkable resilience in the face of adversity. This unwavering belief system acts as their North Star, guiding them through market crashes, business failures, and personal setbacks that would cause others to abandon ship. This faith isn't blind optimism or naive hope. It's a deeply rooted conviction born from understanding that wealth creation is rarely a linear path. The ultra-wealthy have internalized that temporary setbacks are not permanent failures, but rather necessary steps in their wealth-building journey. They've learned to maintain their composure when markets plunge, competitors emerge, or ventures fail, knowing that these moments test their resolve and shape their character. Consider how the most successful investors remain calm during market downturns while others panic sell their assets. Warren Buffett famously becomes more active during market crashes, demonstrating the power of faith in fundamental principles over emotional reactions. This steadfast belief in proven wealth-building strategies, even when short-term results seem discouraging, separates the truly wealthy from occasional winners. Resilience in wealth building manifests as the ability to bounce back stronger after each setback. The wealthy don't just recover, they learn, adapt, and improve their approach based on what didn't work. They understand that each failure contains valuable lessons that strengthen their wealth-building foundation. This resilience isn't just mental toughness, it's a practical approach to handling adversity that includes maintaining emergency funds, diversifying income streams, and building strong support networks. The wealthy also cultivate spiritual and emotional resilience through daily practices. Many engage in meditation, prayer, or contemplative exercises that strengthen their inner resolve. These practices help them maintain perspective during challenging times and prevent them from making fear-based decisions that could compromise their long-term wealth goals. Faith in wealth creation extends beyond personal belief to faith in economic systems, human innovation, and the power of compound growth. The wealthy understand that despite short-term fluctuations, markets tend to reward those who remain invested and aligned with long-term value creation. This faith helps them resist the temptation to chase quick gains or abandon proven strategies during temporary downturns. Perhaps most importantly, the wealthy maintain faith in themselves and their ability to generate value regardless of external circumstances. They've developed an internal locus of control that prevents them from blaming external factors for their situations. This self-trust becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. Because they believe in their ability to overcome obstacles, they take the necessary actions to do so. Creating wealth requires stepping into uncertainty, taking calculated risks, and often standing alone in your convictions. Without deep faith and resilience, most people retreat to the safety of the known when challenges arise. The wealthy have learned to embrace uncertainty as a necessary component of extraordinary returns, using their faith as a compass and their resilience as a shield. The combination of faith and resilience also attracts opportunities and resources. People naturally gravitate toward those who maintain composure and confidence during difficult times. This attraction effect creates a positive feedback loop where resilient behavior leads to more opportunities, which in turn strengthen faith in the wealth-building process. Developing these qualities isn't about denying reality or suppressing emotions. It's about maintaining a longer-term perspective and trusting in your ability to find solutions. The wealthy have learned to view challenges as temporary and solvable, rather than permanent and overwhelming. This perspective shift alone can mean the difference between giving up and pushing through to breakthrough success.